each side digs in.
Your mentality makes
Deep, raw divisions spill into the street. For most of the protesters gathered outside the Supreme Court, this is a worst-case scenario.
It's just jarring and heartbreaking to me.
In the other group, people can barely contain their excitement.
It's 49 years in the making. We love babies in America. We are going to keep trying to preserve life.
The news outlet Politico obtained a draft Supreme Court opinion showing a majority would overturn Roe v. Wade. The landmark case has protected abortion rights for nearly 50 years. In the draft, a majority of justices agree abortion is not protected by the Constitution. Access should instead be determined by state governments, chosen by voters. The leaked document is not the final judgment, but the court confirmed the draft is authentic.
If this decision holds, it's really quite a radical decision.
13 states have already passed so-called trigger laws that would automatically ban abortion if Roe v. Wade is overturned, with more states poised to take similar action.
The laws will reflect the values and the mores of the citizens who live there. That's the way our democracy is supposed to work.
Republican lawmakers are furious about the leak and the unknown leaker.
Almost certainly in an effort to stir up an inappropriate pressure campaign to sway an outcome.
Do not give up the fight.
Democrats are furious too, especially since the 3 Trump-appointed justices all suggested during their Senate confirmation hearings Roe v. Wade had been settled.
Is this a turning point for the United States?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Never in our lifetime has we seen a right that was in place for 50 years suddenly with a court that's been stacked with conservatives, that is not consistent where the American people are. We suddenly see them basically flip it on its head. If that leaked opinion is going to be the law of the land, then we are taking this to the ballot box in November.
Where is the president?
And so, Katie, by November, clearly she means the midterm elections in the House and Senate.
Yeah, Adrienne, you know, the Democrats are going to make it the issue if Roe versus Wade is overturned. They're going to say to voters, look, if you want federal laws to protect access to abortion, you need to send more Democrats to Congress. And they're going to say, if this right can be overturned, what's next? Republicans will be happy to take a victory lap here. They'd rather focus the election on inflation. One thing that really stood out to me today, Adrienne, is in this crowd, demonstrators on both sides. They are so young. This fight has been going on for generations, but so many of these women have grown up only knowing an America where there is access to abortion.
Interesting. All right, Katie Simpson in Washington tonight. Thank you, Katie.
Now, those divided scenes weren't just in Washington today. They were popping up all over the United States. Renee Filipponi spoke to people on both sides to get their reactions.
Without these basic rights, women can't be free.
At rallies across the U.S. today, pro and con, Americans began to make sense of what this leaked decision could mean.
Abortion will not end. It will just become dangerous for women to have access to this. These are archaic rules that we're placing over women's bodies, and it's time for all of us to rise up.
In Miami, anti-abortion protesters joined the crowd.
As the sign says, abortion is murder, and I feel that way, period.
Shut it down!
It's a debate that evokes a passionate and personal reaction, especially for those who've had an abortion.
It's extremely frustrating, and it's honestly a very difficult time. It's disheartening. We're working more than ever to make sure that people have the access that they need.
Emma Hernandez says some women will suffer more than others.
Abortion bans most directly impact Black and Brown communities, low-income communities, people who will face abortion bans and they won't have the resources to travel out of state.
Both sides of the abortion debate have clashed in Linden, a small community in Washington state.
So this is great news for the people who care about the unborn.
Anti-abortion organizer Juanita Verbrie says today is a victory.
The left is having a frenzy right now because abortion is their sacrament, and they see it being challenged and possibly being taken off the books, which we've been working against and trying to actually, stop for 49 years.
But some of those cheering are cautious.
I'm not going to assume anything until we actually see the final opinion that comes down from the Supreme Court.
And even then, advocates for women's right to choose have made it clear they won't back down from this fight. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, Vancouver.